What is up, guys? Godswilla, and today we are finally doing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie tier list. Now, last year, all the way up till now, I've reviewed every Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, and I did rank all the characters from the movies and the game. But now it's time to get to the tier list of the movies. So, let's just let's not sugarcoat anything. Let's get right into it. The original Texas Chainsaw in 1974. I mean, this is a tough one to rank. Just kidding. It's the best Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. This movie is probably the best horror movie of all time, in my personal opinion. It's for me. I like Michael Myers as a character better than Leatherface, but as a movie, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974, it was it's a better movie overall than the original 1978 Halloween. It's an S tier movie. This movie, I adore it. I love the family dynamic between the cook, the hitchhiker, and Leatherface. And the characters, for what they are, they're pretty good. I mean, you don't really know that much about them, but like you somewhat root for their survival because they're just decent everyday normal people. Yeah, I don't really think I need to explain anymore. This movie is peak. I love it. It's the best Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Now, let's move on to Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. This movie came out like 12 years after the first one, which is a pretty decently long time. The director didn't want to make a sequel because if you wanted to do just Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1 on its own, it would have been all right. It could have been a good one-off, but they wanted a sequel. So, with that being said, a lot of people say this is a bad movie. Would I necessarily say it's a bad movie? No, I don't personally think it's a bad movie, but is it a perfect movie? No, it is not. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't make any sense. But the thing is, I like to rate movies based on what they were trying to attempt. They were not trying to be the first movie redone. They weren't trying to do that. And they succeeded in flying colors with that goal. So, Chop Top is an iconic character. The cook is back in this, and he's as good as ever. And Leatherface, he's questionable in this movie to say the least. He's a little goober. But I don't like Leatherface being horny over women, but that's how they wanted to do it. That's how they wanted to do it. But overall, this movie it's like a so bad it's good kind of movie, and I really appreciate that. This is a fun if you want a movie that you can enjoy, this is a movie you can enjoy. And yeah. So where would I rate it? I would give it a B. I'm gonna give Texas Chainsaw Massacre a B. It's a pretty good movie, but it's not peak. It's not peak. People like to say it's so bad it's good, but like I can genuinely enjoy this and get behind this movie for the most part anyway. There's like only one thing I really could say is like no, why? And it's just Leatherface. And that's not too big of a thing to take me out of the movie. But this movie's pretty good. Now we move on to Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. And this movie, what do I say about this movie? Um this movie was kind of an kind of movie. It I don't really know what it was trying to do upon further rewatches. It My thing is there is I a little tad bit too many family members. Just a tad bit. I think 3 to 4 family members including Leatherface, is probably all you would really need. But when you go to the 5, 6, 7, like what this movie does, that's like pushing it a bit. But this movie is like really a nothing burger for me, to be honest. Would I say it's a bad movie? No. It's just very, very boring. Um, so, with that being said, I will have to put this in C tier. Because it's just a nothing burger. It's not a bad, it's just a very average movie, in my personal opinion. And yeah, let's move on to Texas Chainsaw Massacre Next Generation. This one right here. What do I say about this one? Matthew McConaughey as Vilmer is fucking peak. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, he's overacting. He's over this, overdoing it. I don't care. He is fucking hilarious and kind of scary in this movie at the same fucking time. Kind of like how Chop Top was in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. He was simultaneously hilarious and very creepy at the same time. And I get the same vibe from Vilmer. And you got Matthew McConaughey, who a lot of people say is a good looking guy, but he's crazy. So there's also that kind of dynamic going on. I for the most part, I really do like this movie. But the whole government like spying on the family kind of thing, it's like, what were they trying to do with that? It seemed to not really do anything for the movie. Like, you could cut it out of the movie and nothing would really change. And you know that's bad when it's a big plot point that the family are being watched. That is a very big plot point in my personal opinion. And you couldn't take it out of the movie, cut it out of the movie. The movie would be completely the same for the most part. And you had the perfect amount of family members in this one. There was like 3 to 4, including Leatherface. Yeah, this was a pretty decent Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Is it on the level of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1? No, I don't think none of these movies come close. But hey, I'm gonna put this right next to Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 at B tier. This movie is a pretty solid movie. Matthew McConaughey as Vilmer pretty much makes this movie for me. He carried this movie for me. It was just so good. But anyways, let's move on to the remake. The what was it? It was 2003, right? Yeah, 2003. The remake. Now, as far as remakes goes from the classics, you got your Jason Voorhees, your Michael Myers, your Chucky's. As far as remakes goes, this is probably, in terms of remakes, the best. It's probably the best. You can't really fuck up Texas Chainsaw Massacre unless you're really, really trying to. You can't really fuck it up. And for the most part, they didn't fuck up. This was actually a really decent movie. Obviously, the sheriff, oh my god. Was he amazing in this movie? Oh yes, sir, he was. Ooh. Yeah, he was definitely the chop top, the Vilmer of these two remakes. Where would I rate the remake? Cause it was pretty fucking good. This may shock a lot of people, but I'm gonna put Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003 in A tier. I know, shocking. You would never in a million years think a remake would be like A tier. It doesn't go to the peakness that was Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1, but it's still pretty freaking good. So yeah, let's move on to the 2006 prequel of the 2003 remake. So Sheriff Hoyt is back again, and then we get the origin of Leatherface in his first mask, I'm pretty sure. This is where it happened. Um, in terms of quality, this is a step down from the 2003 remake, but it's still, in my opinion, a pretty solid Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Leatherface actually wins. The family wins because this is a prequel after all, and the family can't get caught yet. So, essentially, yeah. But this is a step down from the 2003 remake. Sheriff Hoyt is good as always. He came back and delivered. I think he was arguably better in this one. He had more to do in this one. It was just so good. We see the origins of how Sheriff Hoyt became the sheriff and took over. It was good. It was good. It was really solid. Is it as good as the 2003? No. But I'm gonna put it in B tier because it's a pretty solid movie overall. A tad bit too many family members, but hey, what can you do? All right. Moving on to Texas Chainsaw that came out in 2013. Now this one, it, it it's a pretty dumb movie. It's a pretty dumb movie. Is it a bad movie? I mean, not particularly. I mean, I like the flashback scene. It reminded me of Halloween Kills, and they did that whole fucking 1978 flashback thing, and they did like the flashback to the first movie, or like the time period in the first movie. They did pretty much the same thing here. I liked Bill Moseley as the cook. He did a slam dunk on it. He he sells himself short, but he did a really fantastic job. But but other than that, like this trying to paint Leatherface as like an anti-hero slash kind of a good guy, which I don't know how you make a cannibalistic brute that likes to eat people, that likes to wear their face as masks, a good guy. I don't know how you could possibly do that. So it's like a more of a, you got the more evil people kind of situation with the town, and like in its corruption. Like that concept in of itself is kind of interesting, but it's like it just it was just not for me. It was just not for me. But overall it was an alright movie. It was an average movie. It's gonna go right there with Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Alright, we're moving on to Leatherface 2017. They did another prequel. This is the second prequel they've ever done in the series. It's a prequel to the 2013 Texas Chainsaw movie where fucking Leatherface, or Jedediah Sawyer, was put in a mental institution for years, and it's like a pretty much you got to figure out who is Leatherface. This movie, it's the epitome of what a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie should be. It I wouldn't People like to throw around the word character assassination. I don't even think that's a real fucking thing, to be honest, for the most part. They made Leatherface a guy that can speak. And if it wasn't for him reuniting with his family, he would have gotten a girlfriend. I mean, like, I don't understand. Leatherface is a man with mental issues. He has learning disability. He's just an angry brute for the most part, and then he's got his calm moments. He wouldn't be smart enough to know how to get a girl. I mean, look at him how he acted in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. He didn't know what the fuck to do. when it comes to talking to females. He couldn't talk at all, but he didn't know what to do. But in this one, he apparently does. And then, this is just an epitome of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. It's the origins of Leatherface. So like, you're trying to say, oh, it's a Leatherface movie, not a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. But it's like it's in the same franchise. It features the character from all these movies. But it's like there's no family dynamic that made all the other movies somewhat good. The ones that were really good, really good. But in terms of like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, I have to give this an F. This is probably one of the worst Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies ever. But let's quickly move on to the Netflix Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2022. The most recent Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie to come out. Oh. Now, a lot of what I said about Leatherface can kind of be used here. There's barely a family dynamic in this. And it's just not very good. It's not very good. It's a very goofy, dumb movie. But the difference is, with this and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 was trying to be a fun, dumb movie. It was trying to be that. It wasn't trying to be a masterpiece. It wasn't trying to be taken seriously. And it succeeded. This movie, I feel it was trying to be taken seriously. They blatantly copy Halloween 2018 by bringing back Sally Hardesty from the first movie. The most useless legacy character involvement of all time. Of all time. It baffles my mind how bad this was done, how badly this was done. But hey, what can you do in it? So, what are my issues with this movie besides the useless legacy character? Leatherface is on his own. I mean, he had that mother figure in the beginning, but that was about it. She literally dies like 5 minutes after we meet her. So it's just Leatherface. Look, these kind of movies would work for a Jason Voorhees or a Michael Myers. But what made Leatherface so special to me, what makes the first movie, hell, even the remake, so good, it's the family dynamic between Leatherface and his family members and how they pretty much abuse him into doing stuff. And it's a very toxic family relationship in the house, or whatever movie we're talking about. This, it is just Leatherface. And that is not how you do a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, in my personal opinion. The family dynamic is what made those movies. It was what made the movies that were really good, really good. But I gotta have the same energy for this as I did Leatherface. It's gotta be an F tier. It's a bad Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. So yeah, this is my Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie tier list. Yeah, I mean, like, Happy New Year, everybody. I know 2025, it's here. I'm trying to get more videos out. I just gotta get creative and decide what videos I want to do and how I want to do them. But I'm trying, guys. I really am. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. This is my Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie tier list. Peace out, guys.